A modern elevator can lift thousands of kilograms of steel, cables, and people straight into the air. It's powered by massive motors, guided by precision engineering, and locked inside a concrete shaft designed for safety. And yet, one of the most important parts of an elevator isn't mechanical at all. It's a thin sheet of glass on the wall. A mirror. Something so small and fragile that it almost feels pointless. But here's the strange part. Remove that mirror, and suddenly people start complaining. They feel uncomfortable. They feel trapped. They even feel unsafe. So why does a mirror, of all things, matter so much inside an elevator? Welcome to Simply Curious. If you enjoy uncovering the hidden reasons behind everyday things, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, because today we're uncovering why elevators have mirrors and how they quietly control how you feel. The obvious explanation: that isn't enough. At first glance, elevator mirrors seem decorative. Most people assume they're there so you can check your appearance or make the space feel nicer. That explanation sounds reasonable, so the brain accepts it and moves on. But here's the problem. Engineers don't add features to public systems just for decoration. Especially not features installed in millions of elevators worldwide. Which means that mirror is solving a problem most people don't even realize exists. And that problem begins the moment the doors close. What happens when the doors shut? The second an elevator's doors close, your brain reacts. No windows. No movement yet. No control. Humans are extremely sensitive to enclosed spaces, even if they don't consciously feel afraid. Your brain starts monitoring time, space, and escape options. Early elevators weren't slow, but people felt they were slow. Complaints poured in. People reported anxiety, impatience, and discomfort. And engineers discovered something important. The real problem wasn't speed. The issue wasn't speed, it was perception. Humans don't experience time objectively. We experience it emotionally. 5 seconds of waiting can feel longer than 5 minutes of movement. So instead of rebuilding elevators to move faster, which is expensive and dangerous, designers asked a smarter question. How do we make waiting feel shorter without changing the wait at all? And that's where the mirror enters the story. How mirrors hack attention. Mirrors work because they redirect attention. When you see your reflection, your focus turns inward. You adjust your posture. Fix your hair. Notice small details. These tiny actions occupy the brain just enough to interrupt time awareness. Seconds stop being counted. The wait feels shorter, not because it is shorter, but because your brain is busy elsewhere. But distraction alone wasn't enough to explain everything. The social discomfort problem. Elevators also create intense social discomfort. Standing silently inches away from strangers is unnatural. Eye contact feels awkward. Looking at the floor feels uncomfortable. Your brain searches for a socially acceptable escape, and mirrors provide one instantly. You can look busy without interacting. You're not staring at others, you're looking at yourself. This simple redirection quietly removes tension from the space. But there's an even deeper layer. The quiet fear no one talks about. Claustrophobia doesn't require panic. It can exist quietly. Enclosed spaces trigger ancient survival instincts tied to entrapment. Mirrors visually double the space. They create depth where none exists. Your brain relaxes because the environment feels larger, even though nothing physically changed. And when fear drops, trust increases, restoring a sense of control. Mirrors also restore a sense of control. In an elevator, you surrender control completely. You can't influence speed. You can't open the doors. Loss of control creates anxiety. Mirrors give the brain something manageable: your appearance, your movement, your reflection. That small sense of agency reduces stress far more than we realize. And reduced stress leads to something powerful. Why time feels shorter? Time begins to collapse. Psychologically, occupied time feels shorter than empty time. This is why scrolling feels instant and waiting feels endless. Mirrors quietly hijack attention just enough to compress perceived time. By the time your brain checks again, the ride is already over. And suddenly, elevators don't feel slow anymore. The invisible design trick. What makes this fascinating is how invisible the trick is. Mirrors don't force behavior. They don't instruct you. They simply exist, and your brain does the rest. Humans resist obvious control, but rarely notice design. That's why this solution has lasted for decades without being questioned. And once you notice it here, you start seeing it everywhere. The bigger pattern. Stores use mirrors. Airports use lighting. Music controls walking speed. Modern spaces are engineered to shape emotion, comfort, and perception without us realizing it. Elevators just happen to be one of the cleanest examples of psychological design hiding in plain sight. Which leads to a bigger realization. The final insight. The world around you is constantly shaping how you feel. Not through force. Not through commands. But through small, ordinary objects you've stopped noticing. And the mirror in an elevator proves one thing clearly: humans don't need faster systems. They need better experiences. And now, you'll never step into an elevator the same way again. So the next time you enter an elevator and catch your reflection staring back at you, remember this: it's not there for vanity. It's there to calm you, distract you, and make time disappear without you noticing. You're not imagining the comfort. It was designed. Comment below, what's another everyday thing you've never questioned before? And if today's video hooked you even a little, you have to watch the next one.